CES Day 3, and technically 4 for me, is a mix of main convention center stuff and the Showstoppers event, but I wanted to start with some new products that are launching from Clicks that I got to check out here at CES. If you remember from last year, Clicks makes physical keyboard cases for your iPhone and some other phones that has gone pretty viral and now has a few follow-up products for this year that are incredibly intriguing. There's the new Clicks Power Keyboard, which is a really smart evolution of what they've been doing before. It gives you that full physical keyboard that pairs over Bluetooth, but the big upgrade here is that it also acts as a power accessory. So it uses MagSafe to magnetically attach, supports wireless charging, and basically turns your phone into a mini productivity setup without feeling bulky. If you miss real keys, you want that BlackBerry experience, and want something that actually adds utility instead of just nostalgia, this one just makes a lot of sense. And it's not just for your phone, but you can also attach an iPad, Apple TV, or even an Apple Vision Pro. I love the idea of using this around the house and then switching over to another device, like the Apple TV, for easy input while browsing for different content. Then there's the Clicks Communicator, which feels like a modern throwback in the best way possible. It's built around the idea of focused communication with the physical keyboard front and center, cutting back on distractions while still feeling pretty modern. Again, it's very BlackBerry-inspired. You kind of have that BBM feel where all of your messages and things that you would communicate with other people are kind of in one central location, but it's clearly aimed at people who want to be intentional with how they use their device. It's not going to replace your iPhone, and Clicks understands that. That's not the goal here with the communicator. It's meant to be a companion device and something that's just focused on getting your messages aggregated into one area for extreme efficiency and productivity. Of course, it will run full Android, so you can make it your main device if you'd like to, but I love the idea of kind of having this be my Kindle for productivity and leave my main phone for the non-work related aspects of my tech life. One of my favorite products from last year was the Displace wireless TV. It used an insane suction system that allows for the TV to be mounted literally anywhere on the wall in any part of the house, just a few minutes without having to drill or cause damage to your wall. The Displace Pro TV takes that idea of the truly wireless TV to the next level with a next-generation OLED panel, built-in batteries, of course, and an on-device AI that really pushes what a television can be. This year, the company is adding smart features like gesture control, personalized content discovery, and voice search, all processed locally for better privacy. And speaking of privacy, yes, that camera on the top can be pushed down, so it's not always watching you. Perhaps their most intriguing new product, though, is the new Hub. The Displace Hub is a clever add-on that essentially turns any existing TV into a wireless, battery-powered wall display without visible cables or complex installation. It uses that same powerful suction mount and an integrated battery to keep your setup clean and flexible, and it brings Display's smart platform to screens that you already own. So you can get that same cable-free look and AI functionality without buying a whole new TV. For renters or anyone who hates drilling into walls, this was one of the most intriguing CES innovations that I saw so far. That was until I went by the OWC booth at Showstoppers, and I noticed a new partnership with a company called Strata. And this might honestly be my personal favorite thing that I've seen at CES because, well, if I can geek out for a minute, it solves a lot of real pain points for video creators like myself in a way that I've never seen before. Strata is basically rethinking how remote video editing works by letting you access, share, and review massive video files that live on local drives anywhere in the world without uploading them to the cloud or paying for storage you don't actually need. It leverages the power of the machine that it's connected to and not your network. The wild part is that their patent-pending virtual file editing tech here, where you can just literally drag remote video files straight into your local editing timeline from that remote computer anywhere, and just start cutting immediately, even on low bandwidth. There's no proxies to manage, there's no waiting on uploads, it just works, no matter what your speeds are. If you collaborate with editors, shooters, or teams in different locations, this feels like one of those tools that could completely change your workflow. And in the demo that we're witnessing here, there's a live Zoom call of a workstation out in California with a NAS attached to the computer, and we're pulling down files into timelines and streaming massive files and movies on another computer and a phone at the same time. In this area where Wi-Fi is terrible, or we're getting like 4 megs here, you can see that it's having no problems. It's not lagging, everything is working totally fine. And again, it's witchcraft to me how this works, but if you even aren't an editor and maybe you have libraries of video files that you want to watch anywhere in the world, yeah, you can do that as you can see here. And I am super interested in checking this out more. And if you want to see a full video, maybe I'll do one here in the near future. Another interesting product comes from startup Intricate, which has been showcasing its own solution at CES 2026 for bringing touchscreen functionality to existing MacBooks, the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, with Apple Silicon. The Magic Screen is a snap-on digitizer that aligns to your MacBook's display using the built-in magnets, and it lets your Mac know when the lid is closed to trigger sleep mode, so all of that's going to behave normally. But after connecting it via a single USB-C cable and everything's all lined up, the tempered glass layer supports a bunch of gestures that we've come to associate with smartphones. You can tap, you can swipe, you can zoom with your fingers, all directly on your MacBook screen. And you also get the ability to basically treat it like an iPad and an Apple Pencil because the screen comes with its own stylus that supports pressure sensitivity, hover for drawing, writing, manipulating objects, and of course, navigation. And honestly, as you can see here, and as I saw in person, the latency is very minimal. It was pretty much exactly like writing on an iPad. And that's really, really cool if you want to do that kind of creative work on your MacBook. You can do that with such a really simple, tool. You just snap it on and plug it in and it just works right away. I also tried the Rokid AI glasses, and these blend in a built-in 12-megapixel camera with on-device AI and subtle AR visuals, so you can snap photos, get real-time translations, object info, navigation cues, or quick answers without pulling your phone. And all of this is delivered right in your line of sight with open-ear audio and voice controls. And it's like having your own hands-free AI assistant that augments your world without feeling intrusive. There was also a very heavy emphasis on robotics this year, and it seems more so than ever at CES that there are just a bunch of different robots ranging in all shapes and sizes and various use cases. Some might play ping pong against you, others might be forming a dueling piano band, and there's the Boston Dynamic dogs looking around everywhere and firing darts at people for some reason. And yeah, it just seems more so than ever that humanoid robots and various robots here are just going to be a heavy emphasis. So it'll be interesting to see how that and AI couples together in the near future, and hopefully it doesn't take over the world. Also, some other crazy things that I just want to go through quickly, like this bike from Antic that basically helps you get into a wheelie easily, and it's designed to just keep you in that wheelie state, and then you can just kind of use your momentum and shift back and forth to go forward or backwards. Super random, but it was kind of fun. There were also these really intriguing headphones from TDM that might seem like traditional over-ear headphones because they were for the most part, but they have one cool trick up its sleeve, and that's the fact that they can fold and twist down into this portable speaker state. As you can imagine, this is the world's first product of its kind, and I honestly thought it was pretty cool tech. The AWOL vision projector that I checked out was seriously impressive because it uses cutting-edge ultra-short throw laser tech to blast crisp HDR 4K images up to huge screen sizes from just inches away with deep colors and Dolby Atmos audio that makes it feel like a real home theater. And seriously impressive audio was coming from this projector. This area in the convention center is very loud. We're watching this game from a couple weeks ago that was playing, and it sounded incredible. So all of that was coming from this projector. And I actually really want to check it out in more detail because I cannot believe the quality of picture in a very bright environment. It was still super bright. I think it's like 3,300 lumens, but it looked way more than that. And I really enjoyed watching and taking a little break to watch some old football games at CES. Now, this is the Watchitude Tag 2 watch that fits in an Apple AirTag on the bottom of the device so that it can be used to easily track the person that's wearing it. And obviously, if you can't tell, this is mostly targeted towards kids. So parents can buy their children this watch. It's fairly inexpensive. You also need to have your own AirTag, but this is great for those whose kids maybe want a watch, or maybe you want those kids to have some sort of ability to be tracked, but don't want to give them a computer strapped to their wrists. Like, I just don't want to give my kids an Apple Watch yet. I think they're too young, but I want to know that when they're off at school, they're at school, and when they're on their way home, they're on their way home. And I could do that, and they can have the watch on their wrists and, be able to tell the time. And I think this is a really good blend of tech and kind of a simple device for our children. Another big buzzword for TVs this year is micro RGB, and micro RGB TVs were everywhere. And we know that Samsung has been doing it for a couple of years. LG just launched theirs alongside Hisense, which is now boasting the largest in the world, apparently. Feel like it's only a matter of time if this sticks, because I think it's really great panel and tech. It's super color accurate and bright, until we see RGB TVs or these micro RGB TVs everywhere. And lastly, Sony and Honda's Afeela car. It's back here at CES. And this year, there is a new prototype, a version 2, I guess, and you can kind of pre-order the first one and reserve the first model still, which honestly I thought was coming out last year, but apparently it's this year maybe? I don't know, at some point. I'm more interested now in this new version. I kind of liked the slightly different body style, but yeah, would love to hear from you about not only the Afeela car and the prototype, but also everything that I talked about. And if you haven't seen the other versions of CES Day 1, Day 2 videos, please go ahead and check those out. I'll have them linked in a playlist. You can go ahead and do that. And be sure to subscribe. I'll be doing a couple other CES videos rounding up the best Apple-related accessories and the best of CES for 2026. So be sure to subscribe, and thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.